What you're looking at here is a Cadillac 472 big block engine from 1970. I pulled this thing out of a 1970 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. 1970 Cadillac Sedan de Ville. And my plan is to put this engine in the 63 Suburban that I have called a carryall, one of the early Suburbans. They came out in the 50s and I was lucky enough to find one and it needs a new engine. I was really hoping to use this in something like that, and I went ahead and started taking it all apart and went through pretty much everything except for the important stuff. Did the paint job. Whenever you're pulling an engine out of an old car, you want to make sure, number one, that it spins over. But number two, you really want to make sure it runs before you go through the trouble of taking it all apart. Hot wired this rig up and we got it running off of a boat tank, water in the radiator. Manufactured 1169. Now it says 18,000 miles. That's 118. Here's the engine out. Let me show you some of the stuff that I actually got done. 472 CAD motor, 1969. Getting her ready. Just scraping the gasket material and cleaning it up. I'm gonna take that compressor and carb off, just so I can get it grease free and start to prep it for an oil pan. We've got to move the fill tube and we're going to change the timing chain and the fuel pump. See, I broke it. Think that filter's any good? Yeah, that was brand new, and then I tipped the motor over. Yeah. This thing was just stuck in here. But once I heated that up, it just started to slowly move, and now it's worked its way to where it can come out. Who knows when the last time this distributor came out. It's just all necessary to get to the timing chain.
An eternity later.
New timing chain, cleaned up and prepped. Look at how big it is. There's no sealer around the edges. This must be the gasket. It's a little crusty in there, but look at that washer. So I managed to get it right through that hole, and I couldn't retrieve this thing. So anyway, that's going to allow me to go in here and flush all this out. I'll just clean up what I can in here. I'll try to vacuum out what I can, then I'll flush the rest out. All cleaned up, as good as we can get. And then I'm using this Lucas oil stabilizer. It's real sticky oil. I have something on there. Gonna pull off main bearing caps and check these out. I'm gonna clean these and mark them with a paint marker so that they stay in the right location and also in the right orientation. How's that look? Look at all that. Why is it soupy? That doesn't look very good, does it? Ooh. How about that brown? Cadillac brown? Gotcha. No, this is rusty metal primer. This is just the primer. These are gonna stay cast. There's stuff I have for that brings the cast back to gray. Gonna let it dry for a day, overnight. I also ordered a set of bearings. See that? We got to cover this compressor label. Got to keep our labels. Looking good. Okay. Take off the tape to the label. That's our AC compressor, it's power steering pump, and the fan. And we got all the gold stuff over here, gold section.
I love gold.
Looking good. This stuff's already ready. In fact, I've put a clear coat on it, 1 or 2 coats already. And I'm going to go back over the engine again with a coat of, it's probably better to cut this instead of jabbing it in there, but it's fun to try. There we go. Where? Over here. This is what I did. So I just took some of this real crummy blue tape. This particular one I don't recommend. It's not the greatest. But, so you go over the porcelain part too and get up real close. The reason I'm painting them is they were kind of a little rusty, and I cleaned them, wire wheeled them, and I just want to give them a little spritz of gold because, I don't know, I'm just having fun with this gold stuff. Excuse me, champagne bronze. Here's my rationale. I'm putting a ton of clear coat on everything because I think that this Rust-Oleum paint might not be the most durable for engines and stuff. Yeah, so what I'm doing is just trying to build up a little protection on it. Okay, plugs are masked out. We got the distributor covered, this crank mount thing. Mask, gotta have that. Just gonna have fun here. This is doing these engines isn't that much fun. It's just a lot of dirty work, but once it's done, I think it's worth it. I mean, who else is gonna do it, right? So, bronze, champagne bronze, metallic. Normally I like to paint this stuff outside, and I'm sort of outside, but we've had a real muggy, rainy day. I mean, let's just do all this gold, huh? Yeah, gold is the answer. This stuff has a real nice build to it. It's real forgiving. There's a lot of gaskets here. This was in the Felpro kit. It doesn't have the right rear main seal because the right one is rubber. So I had to order this separately from this Get Mauled company. And I did get something I think is pretty awesome for the valve covers. You know how you have just regular bolts? Well, I got Allen head bolts with washers. So that's, for in here. This pan is a 500 pan. The sump is in the back. So that you need this for clearance. But on the other one, it's reversed. The Cadillac cross members further back. So when you go into a truck or some other Chevy, you usually need this rear pan. So it's a whole different switcheroo. The carb was good. Oh, that's a rod right there, and you can see the main. It's not in bad shape. And it's been cleaned pretty good. Got it masked out. I did clean all that, so masked out. And that's, I put some sticky Lucas oil in there to kind of stick to it, and I'll end up cleaning that again and re-oiling it. Looking forward to getting this thing in the 63 Suburban. That's what we're dealing with, just getting it all dialed in, but we want to make sure we got good pressure and we don't have any air. We don't want to have the oil pump sucking air, so we gotta oil test it. Need a plug for that. So we got a few things to do still. This is going to be the plasti gauge application. That's where you put the plastic feeler gauge thing. It's pretty much just a little system that allows you to see how much clearance you have on your internals before you put the bearings in, just to double check. So I'm going to put that stuff in there, and you got to flip the motor over to let's see, there we go. Whoa. Okay, so that's where you put that in between the bearing surface. It's just a piece of paper that has a small piece of plastic inside. See that little piece of plastic in there? It's just a little strip. So you cut a section and you put it inside there and you clamp it down. And then you pull it back out and you measure it. Pretty nifty. I got numbers written on all these caps. The tighter end is on the inside. One more seal to go. This guy's seal. See that? That one should be pretty easy. Yeah, he'll just pry out. That one's just going to pry out. And then again, the seal is, the tight spot is towards the inside. So we'll clean it. That's what we're going to use. Time to tighten her down. Here's our plasti gauge. You can see this small blue line, and it lines up with this white line, which is, it's hard to see, but it's the second one in. So I'll look those up. Just got to put in oil pickup tube from there. There's an O-ring, and that bolts into there. We're going to put on this Cadillac stuff. It's for reconditioning cast iron. So these manifolds, I don't want to paint these. A lot of people like to paint them, but I figure they're just gonna, the paint's just gonna fade and possibly flake off. But I like the grayish look of the original cast iron, and that's what this stuff does. See, it's basically just a paste that you rub in there. And I got a little bit for the drill, but I want to try it by hand first. You could just kind of rub this stuff in. But supposedly you can use a brush or anything.
Here's what Uncle Buck looked like when we got him over to the shop. The back window had massive rot and the interior was just all roached out. Here's a sticker from where it was bought in Houston, and the original VIN plate says 1970. There's the engine coming out. And what I did was forklifted it up and took it back to the wrecking yard across the street for it to be picked up by the wreckers. All right, this is that cast iron paste that you put on, and I'm just rubbing it in, going through the whole manifold to both manifolds actually, to get this stuff coated on there real good, make it look sharp. Probably gonna have to reapply this stuff down the road, but it's super easy to do and probably easier to keep up than a paint finish.
The finished product. And that's supposed to be permanent, but it's easy enough to apply that you could do it again.
Okay, I'm going to do the valve cover gaskets and oil those up. Top of that with some Lucas oil stabilizer. This is anaerobic sealer. I'm just putting a thin coat around the head, and then I'm using that stainless steel hardware that I purchased that's got the Allen heads. So it's just going to be a matter of staggering the tightening process along the edges of the valve covers. Then I'll be able to roll this thing over upside down. Then I can finish the bottom end and button up the timing cover and all that stuff so we can fire it off.
Valve covers on, manifolds dressed, top end is done.
Gold!
I hope you people are ready to rock and roll. Now I'm gonna try to fill up the vent tube. Woohoo! That was scary. Okay. Oh, it's starting to twerk on us. Got me a torque board here. If it wants to torque. So see, now it's now it's rigged up. All right, let's go for another rip.
That's going to do it for this one. This here Cadillac sedan DeVille has donated its heart to us. Good old Uncle Buck has done us a real solid and given us a good engine that we can use for this 63 Suburban project. Check back later. We're going to be working on that one, transplanting the engine and getting that Suburban road ready. So this is farewell to Uncle Buck. We'll see you on the next one.